Coming up today, President Park Geun-hye says there's some flexibility over the exact positioning of the soon-to-be deployed THAAD missile defense system as local opposition to it simmers. As Korea continues to wilt under scorching afternoon highs and tropical nights, we take a look at the urban heat island effect that's making matters worse. First, the Rio Olympics officially get underway in just over 24 hours with the opening ceremony. Football has already started, but the sparse crowds have organisers worried. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello and welcome. It's 6 a.m. on Friday, August 5th here in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom and you're tuned in to our early morning edition of Arirang News. Our top story this morning, reacting to the public unease over the deployment of the US missile defense system THAAD to South Korea, President Park Geun-hye says her administration is open to reconsidering its location, but only to a degree. Local residents in the rather remote southern county have expressed public health and security concerns about the upcoming deployment. Seongju has our top story.
President Park Geun-hye met with lawmakers from her ruling Saenuri party who represent the area chosen as a location for a THAAD missile defense system battery. The lawmakers, who represent Daegu, Gyeongsang-buk-do province, and Seongju, the prospective THAAD location, said area residents are deeply concerned about the health and safety risks presented by the radar, which they say could penetrate downtown Seongju if THAAD is deployed to the designated location. President Park said if there are any alternative locations the county can recommend, the government will thoroughly research them and share the results with Seongju residents. A potential relocation would be limited to within Seongju County, but Seongju residents have said they are willing to accept an alternative.
As for deploying THAAD, lawmakers asked the government to listen to local public sentiment and set the base for national security, public safety, and toward unification of the two Koreas through a trust-building process on the Korean peninsula.
Seoul's defense ministry said it will undertake the research upon a request from the Seongju County office, although its previous review of other locations in the county had shown Seongju to be the best candidate. President Park also called on local politicians to practice politics that the people want, while ruling party lawmakers vow to pass legislation to boost the local economy and create jobs. Seongji, Arirang News.
Now, there are growing concerns that China, fueled by anger over the THAAD decision, could lash out at South Korea by hurting various Korean industries with ties to the Chinese market. And there's an easy way for Beijing to do that, namely by cancelling numerous Korean TV shows and Hallyu star-related events altogether. For details, we turn to Hwang Ho-jun.
Anti-Korean sentiment has been growing in China because of editorials in Chinese state-run media blasting Seoul's decision to deploy THAAD. The Global Times, sponsored by the People's Daily, is just one media organization that criticized the decision. They said that Seoul will be solely to blame if Korean stars become the scapegoats for the THAAD deployment, emphasizing that no idol can be above the country. According to Sina News China, an online poll was conducted via Sina Weibo, a social media platform similar to Twitter. Over 86% of the 280,000 people polled said they would support a government ban on South Korean entertainers. There are even rumors that Korean TV shows and media could be banned in China from September. In an interview with Korea's Yonhap News Agency, a government official who wished to stay anonymous said it's regrettable to see criticisms from Chinese media that are not based on objective facts. Although Korea has stated that the THAAD deployment is strictly for self-defense, China has repeatedly condemned the decision, saying that it could hurt China's security. In an apparent demonstration of China's dissatisfaction with Seoul's decision, Chinese officials who were set to make an appearance at a chicken and beer festival in the city of Daegu canceled at the last minute. However, as the editorials are all from state media, It's too soon to confirm whether the criticism will have any lasting effect on K-culture consumption in China. Hwang Woo-jun, Arirang News.
Now, a North Korean delegation will be visiting Vladivostok early next month to attend the Eastern Economic Forum. Citing Russia's foreign ministry, Interfax news agency reports that Pyongyang has yet to confirm the actual makeup of the delegates. Sources in Moscow say the delegation will not likely include senior-level officials since North Korea's missile provocations have aggravated political affairs in the region. The second annual forum is aimed at bolstering regional cooperation to develop the resource-rich Far East region. North Korea is reportedly hoping to open a freight ship route between its port city of Wonsan and Vladivostok in order to import Russian foods like flour, sausage and cooking oil. The two-day gathering from September 2nd will bring together some 2,500 participants from 32 countries, including President Park Geun-hye, who was invited by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, it was another hot and humid day in Korea on Thursday, and we have another sizzling day in store on this Friday as well. Most parts of the country will be under either a heatwave advisory or warning again today. Experts say the scorching conditions are being further intensified by a weather phenomenon known as urban heat island. Ian Shin explains.
It was a day of lighter clothes, and fans were a must-have item. But no matter what people did, the blazing conditions on Thursday seemed to have taken over the streets and dominated all aspects of daily life. Already expected to be the hottest day this year so far, the Korea Meteorological Administration issued heatwave warnings for the capitals Seoul, Daejeon, Daegu, and Gyeonggi-do province.
And according to its weather forecast, the temperature should rise up to 36 degrees Celsius today in Seoul at its highest. But as you can see right now, it's at 41 degrees Celsius in the middle of the city.
This effect is known as the urban heat island and refers to the area in a city that registers significantly higher temperatures than its surrounding suburb areas due to human activities. The UHI is generally triggered by the concentration of high buildings. In particular, the materials used to build skyscrapers, such as concrete and metal, absorb heat during the day. When the heat is then re-radiated, it can linger in the area for longer periods of time, causing continuous tropical nights throughout the season. With the weather already alarmingly hot this year, taking the necessary precautions to avoid heat-related diseases, such as heat stroke, is of utmost importance.
I can't believe how hot it is right now. I just feel so tired and weary by just stepping out for a couple of hours during the day.
With the weather agency expecting sweltering conditions to continue for the rest of the week, experts are recommending residents, especially the elderly, to stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activities if possible during the day. Ian Shin, Arirang News.
Now, American automaker Tesla has announced plans to open a couple of showrooms in and around Seoul before the year is out. Analysts say the car maker's arrival could signal greater commercialization and bigger market for green and even autonomous self-driving vehicles in the near future. Kim Ji-yeon with the details.
U.S. automobile giant Tesla Motors is set to open its first dealership in Korea, which is expected to offer its globally renowned electric car models to local consumers before the year ends. The dealership is to be set up in Gangnam, southern Seoul, and another one in the country's largest complex shopping mall, Starfield Hanam, run by Shinsegae Group, slated to be open next month. While displays of Tesla models are sure to attract visitors to the new shopping mall, Tesla's rise is also expected to promote electric vehicles in general among tech-savvy Korean consumers.
Tesla's move into the Korean market is expected to bring new hype to the premium-end electric vehicles, which first grabbed attention when the government laid out plans late last year to cut billing costs on electricity used for the vehicles and increase the number of recharging stations nationwide. Tesla's move is also expected to motivate local rival automakers to develop models equipped with autopilot mode to target the masses.
Among local brands, the luxury Genesis EQ900 sedan by the country's largest automaker, Hyundai Motor, is the only model installed with the autopilot technology. The same researcher says the price of Tesla's 2 luxury electric vehicle models sold in local stores are expected to be similar to that sold in neighboring Japan, at around $85,250 for the Model S. The average consumer may be more interested in Tesla's latest and more affordable model, the Model 3, set to be launched late next year, estimated at under $45,000. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
Now, the Bank of England has cut interest rates for the first time since 2009 and announced a fresh round of economic stimulus measures. According to the central bank, the economy is expected to stagnate in the second half of 2016 following Britain's vote to leave the European Union. In an effort to stimulate the British economy, the bank cut the rate from 0.5% to 0.25%. It also launched 2 new schemes, one to buy £10 billion, slightly over $13 billion in corporate bonds, and a new term funding scheme for banks that would provide up to $131 billion from central reserves. Now, these expanded bond purchases will begin in September. The eyes of the world are on Rio as the 2016 Olympics get underway with a grand opening ceremony in just over 24 hours from now. Let's get some updates on what the pre-games atmosphere is like with our Shin Se-min, who files this report from the Brazilian host city.
Rio, the city of samba, one of the most famous tourist destinations in the world for its postcard-perfect views, is in full-on preparation mode as the first South American city to host the Summer Olympics. Counting down to the big opening ceremony, Rio hasn't seen this many tourists in years, maybe ever.
Not at all. No, you always got to be positive in life, and things always happen for the better. So I don't even worry.
Despite the excitement, Rio and Brazil in general still face a mountain of problems. Political instability, violent crime, and Zika are the main concerns among visitors from overseas and even residents of the city.
Yeah, we have the security increasing a lot at the time because we are worried that the violence will increase now because of the other people that are coming here right now. So the security will increase a lot. We have the armies, we have more police here just because of the events.
The Brazilian government is taking extra security precautions, especially in light of the rising number of terror attacks around the world. Brazil's defense ministry says 85,000 military and police officers have been drafted in for the Olympics, the country's largest deployment ever.
The organizers of the Olympic Games hope to put all those issues behind them once the world-class athletes from all around the world walk through the doors of Maracana Stadium for the opening ceremony of the 31st Summer Olympics. Shin Se-min, Arirang News, Rio de Janeiro.
Well, staying in Rio, and the official opening ceremony may not have happened yet, but some events have already started. And something that stood out like a sore thumb this week was the sheer number of empty seats at the first round of the women's football matches. So you might be wondering, what's the solution? Well, the organisers have decided that bussing in tens of thousands of school children might be the answer. Barry Welsh reports.
The Rio Olympics have already seen their first wins and first losses after the women's football began on Wednesday. The home nation team saw its Brazilian stars record a comfortable 3-0 win over China, while reigning champions USA saw off New Zealand 2-0. The Korean team will be facing Fiji, one of the lowest-ranked footballing nations in the world, and they will be hoping for a big win to give them a boost in a tough group with Germany and Mexico. They will also be hoping for a better audience atmosphere than in some of the women's games. The opening match between Sweden and South Africa was an underwhelming affair, with attendance of just a few hundred in a 60,000-seater stadium. Ticket sales seem to have been a problem in general, with over 1 million tickets still unsold. The Rio 2016 organisers have said they will launch a new project, giving away almost 250,000 tickets to school children. They've said this would not be a problem because they have reached the $300 revenue target they had set, and that they will now try to fill the stands in less popular events such as golf, rugby sevens and hockey. Football, however, was not mentioned. The opening ceremony on Friday, at least, is expected to be a full house, and organisers are promising a spectacular show, even with a budget that was slashed by half due to Brazil's economic difficulties. But the fireworks do not seem to have been cut, with those in Rio treated to a special preview as the stadium's firework display was given a test run. Barry Welsh, Arirang News.
Well, that's all we have for now on this Friday morning here in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to our newscast. And we'll be back with our next scheduled bulletin at 10 a.m. Korea time. So until then, goodbye.